Congratulations, silver investors. You are watching history be made today. Today, we crossed $100 in the spot price in silver. The big question that a lot of people have, will this continue? How far can it go? $200, $300, even $500. The important thing that we want to do together is to look at all the facts. I've got some reasons and examples that we're going to go over today that indicate to us that we could indeed continue to much, much higher prices. But again, congratulations. And congratulations for joining us down here in the basement. If we were here a year ago, we were down here saying, oh, the silver price is at $30 per ounce. I wonder how high it will go. Just imagine if a year ago they told us that today we would be celebrating a major milestone in the universal history of precious metals, $100 silver. Please subscribe to the channel. We want you to come back. On behalf of Upstairs Susie, my lovely assistant there on the walkie-talkie, and myself, we love having you as part of the Basement Dweller community. Subscriptions are free. Thumbs up, right? Press the thumbs up. That's free. Leave a comment in the comment section because your voice matters. Your thoughts matter. We are all in this together, navigating, right? What we used to say were choppy waters, although we've had some good seas lately for the silver and gold price. We want you to come back. I also want to say congratulations to Keith Neumeyer. He's the CEO of First Majestic Silver. We remember, right, years and years ago, heck, I even remember almost 10 years ago, sitting down here watching Keith Neumeyer on interviews and hearing him talk about triple-digit silver. Well, congratulations, Keith. It happened today. You've been a leader in the precious metal sector, a leader in the silver sector, and we appreciate you. And why is it such a big deal? $100, it's just a number, but it's a big number, and it's going to draw a lot more attention into the silver market. People that are generalist investors. The sheep warning noise, we'll get it out of the way early today. The 97%, 98% of people that don't own precious metals are going to say, wow, did you hear silver hit $100, right? And maybe a little bit of that herd, who we like to affectionately refer to as the sheeple, will come join us on the silver and gold lifeboat. Let's go out and start looking at some of this big data that we're getting today. You know what? Let's go out and take a look at the price first. Let's go to the spot market. Hold on here 1 second. Hold on here. Here we go, guys. We're going to go out and look at the spot price of silver right now. Wow. Feast your silver and gold eyes on this. We've got silver at 161 cents bid, and the gold price, right? Hey, this could be a historic day for gold as well. The granddaddy, we don't want to forget about you, Grandpa Gold, right? Almost $5,000 per ounce. But what's really important is we want to take a look at the silver chart. Okay, guys, this is the 1 year silver chart for the futures market. This is the March of 2026 futures market. And I want to point something out that I think is critical for us and something very optimistic. Trying to get there we go, get that off the screen for the silver price. And that is this, okay? Again, 1 year ago, of course, we've already covered, we were at around $30 per ounce. But on a 1 year chart, we have such a steady increase. Yes, it picked up over the last 3 or 4 months, but that is not a spike. Okay, remember in 1980, in 2011, right, we had paper-driven, speculation-driven silver price spikes where the price went up like this, right? Even on a 1 year chart, that's what it looked like. And when it shot up, it came right back down. This time really is different, right? Because this chart shows us two things, right? Periods of consolidation, right? You can look there. There was some consolidation. There was some consolidation in this area, okay? But also that this is a physical-driven market. Now, we're going to go out and look at the 5 year chart. On a 5 year chart, it's still, right? It looks semi-spiky. But again, the important thing to remember is that we have this time a physical driven, and I forgot to tell you guys, we've got some incredible all around the world. There's a silver mania taking hold. We're going to look at data from all around the world. Before we do that, though, I want to go out and share this with you. Oh, wrong one. Hold on here. Here we go. A post that came from our friend Echo X, who's got over 100,000 followers, a big account on X. History made. Silver just hit $100 for the first time ever. This is going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. If you own silver, you know what this moment means. Years of patience, years of conviction, years of being told you were wrong. Some people even, looked at us cross-eyed when we talked about silver 3, 4, 5 years ago. Suppressed for over 200 years, 350 plus paper contracts for every 1 ounce of real silver. One of the most manipulated assets on earth and in the history of the universe, and yet inevitable. This is God's money. This is the people's money. This is what happens when paper lies meet physical truth. You now get to say, I was there when silver hit triple digits, like Keith Neumeyer predicted, for the first time in human history. Be proud. You know what you held. Congratulations, guys. Okay? Seriously. Let's all take a moment, look at each other, and smile. While you're smiling, you can press the subscribe button. But let's go to China and just get some data from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And then we're going to talk about, evidence that this can go even further, because this is remember, silver's not just in St. Louis. Silver's not just in Boise, Idaho. Silver is valuable everywhere in the world. Thousands of years all around the world. And we've got some data coming to us from all around the world that's going to make my hair go curly by the end of this live stream. But first, let's go out to our friend Oriental Ghost, whose mother recently passed away. I'll mention that one more time. He was MIA for a little bit. We were all worried about him, but he's back now. Again, Oriental Ghost, sorry to hear about your mother. And this is his daily report from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Oh, what's different about the Shanghai Gold Exchange? It's a physical market. You have to have physical metal to trade on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. So this is China's price for real physical AG. You better know by now that stands for silver. That's the periodic element. And this is the SGE. And guys, in China, right, who now is setting the silver price, $111 per ounce. But what if I told you we've got news from Dubai, we got news from Turkey, we have news from Korea, we have news from China, we have news from India. Everywhere we look, we are getting more and more crazy news about the world is woken up. Welcome to the new reality. Yeah. Welcome to the repricing of silver. Now, look, before we go any further, because I care about you, please, whatever you do with any of your investments, always be responsible. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Be responsible, use logic. Don't put yourself at too much risk with anything that you may or may not invest in. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cryptocurrencies, precious metals, or relationships for that matter. Now, let's go look at some insane data. Before we do that, I mentioned First Mint earlier, but if you want to get your paws on some great silver, the freshest silver on the market, freshest silver. Why do I say that? Because First Mint is owned by First Majestic Silver, who mines the silver in Mexico, ships it directly to First Mint. They are a silver specialist mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, when then it's transformed into world-class silver bullion products. This here is their Las Vegas round. Look at that roulette wheel. I used to love to play a lot of roulette. That is the backside of their Las Vegas round. It's absolutely incredible. But the silver goes from the mines to the mint directly to you. Those fine people at the COMEX and the LBMA, they never get to touch it, okay? You're getting the freshest silver on the market, the most beautiful silver on the market, and You're taking silver away from those fine folks at the COMEX and the LBMA. You can learn more about them right here at firstmint.com. Let me pull it up for you. Okay. If you go to their store, they have bars, they have rounds, and they have a Folds of Honor product line that benefits the Folds of Honor Foundation. Great company. You guys have given me so much absolute positive feedback. Look, my experience with First Mint, I love everything they've sent me. And it's a premium retail experience. They really do set the bar. There's a reason why they're growing like crazy. I heard Keith Neumeyer say they had record sales in the fourth quarter. So keep up the great work, First Mint, and thank you for sponsoring Ron's Basement. But wait a minute. I promised you unbelievable silver data from around the world. What about the Chinese aunties? Aunties. Do you have an aunt? Huh? Well, in China, if you had an aunt, she apparently might be hold on here. Hold on. There we go. Might be waiting in line to buy precious metals for you. This comes from the FX leaders. China's silver rush, and there's a lot more, trust me. Aunties line up in Shenzhen as retail buyers swap refiners and banks. Guys, get ready, take a deep breath, take your blood pressure medicine, because this is some good news for the future of silver. As we look around the corner, it says banks and refiners are rushing to meet the unprecedented demand from retail investors. Make a note of that, banks and refiners, due to silver's dizzying rally. But wait, there's a lot more. There's a lot. Banks and refiners are rushing to meet the unprecedented demand from retail investors amid silver's dizzying rally. Sorry, I just repeated that. As evidenced by Chinese ants. Do you have a Chinese ant? Huh? Waiting in line at Shenzhen market. Out of stock Turkish refineries and the Korea Mint offer that sold out in 1 hour. But wait, there's more. We're going to dig into the details. Okay, that paragraph I don't have highlighted just talks about what you already know. The silver price is skyrocketing. But let's listen. Now, wait a minute. Wait, there's a bonus. Dubai, the Middle East. Oh, let's listen to Firat Sakakarki, a bullion dealer in Dubai, stated it's the highest demand I've ever seen. Not in the last year, not in the last 10 years. The highest demand that our friend Firat has ever seen. For the past 10 days, the majority of refineries in Turkey have been out of stock for the smaller bars, which are 10 and 100 ounces. I don't know, those are pretty big. Quote, Turkish retail investors are now willing to pay up to $9 more per ounce than the global benchmark price. So we got Turkey, so we got Dubai, and we have China. Is there more? I don't know. This is causing international banks to prioritize shipments to the nation and region with less metal reaching India, and leaving demand there unmet. There's this very complicated economic concept called supply and demand. And when there's no supply, but there's demand, there's only one thing that fixes that. That starts with the letter P. That's right, you guessed it, price, particularly for a less liquid metal like silver. Excuse me, a short squeeze in October of last year demonstrated how local supply, did we just say the S word? Squeezy? It was a squeeze. But anyway, local supply constraints can quickly spread worldwide. But wait, there's more. Because according to Samit Guhawa, CEO of MMTC PAMP India, all right, that's the big PAMP, refiner, investor demand for silver is greater in India now, excuse me, than it was in October. Remember what they just said in the previous paragraph? There was a squeeze in October, with smaller bars and coins being popular. Is the biggest precious metals and they're the biggest precious metals refiner in the nation. That's just the biggest one in India, right? Telling us that they've got more demand now than they did during the October squeeze. Although the company's imports of silver doré more than doubled from October to December of last year, it's still having difficulties. So the biggest refiner in India imported twice as much silver from October to December, right? But they still can't meet the demand. I don't know. You tell me. I'm waiting. Are we in unprecedented times for silver and gold, for that matter? Don't want to ignore gold, the grandpappy of all precious metals, right? Are we in a new reality for silver and gold? You answer the question, right? You've got a brain on your shoulders, and I think you know the answer to that question. What about our old friends, right? And we love them because the first four letter of their name spells the word gold. Yes, we're talking about Goldman Sachs, the most respected big investment bank in the world, who they didn't listen to me and you 3, 4, 5 years ago when we said we thought silver and gold were underpriced. No, they would put out low estimates, blah, blah, blah. But what's gold, man? Sachs saying now, right? And we won't complain when the world's biggest investment bank gives us some good news. And this comes from our friends at Kitco. Ernest Hoffman. Thank you, Ernest, for your earnest involvement in the precious metal sector. Goldman Sachs raises their 2026 gold price target to only $5,400 per ounce. As there's a very important factor in what Goldman's saying, and we're going to talk about it. Private sector joins central banks' diversification strategy. We'll talk about that as well. In blue, we just have 2 paragraphs to cover. Okay, basement dwellers, just weeks after setting a year-end target of $4,900 per ounce for gold, the banking giant Goldman Sachs announced on Wednesday that it was raising its December 2026, that would be a little over 11 months from now, price target to $5,400 per ounce. Goldman analyst, led by Dan Struvegan and Lena Thomas, wrote in a note, we can have a little fun, guys, right? That the upgraded forecast is based on their belief that private investors who bought gold as a hedge against macro policy risks will hold these positions through the end of the year. So what they're saying is that individual investors are waking up to the fact that we're in a debt spiral in the United States and the world, for that matter. And on top of that, we have geopolitical strife like nothing else in history. Let me tell you something, guys. Those of you who've been basement dwellers for years remember this from about 14 and a half months ago. There was a period where I would describe the situation where it was a boxing match. Okay? I'm not big on violence, but it's a boxing match. In one corner, you have the fiat currencies, right? The TradFi banking system, right? And they're going to fight. They're going to square off against the precious metals heavyweight. In one hand, he has gold. In the other hand, he has silver. They're going to fight each other. Now, who are you going to bet on? And this is what we said 2 years, 14 and a half months ago, whatever. You know the point. What we said was, right, that fight, we're going to bet on gold and silver, right? The precious metals heavyweight as he takes on Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, right? Okay, and the reason why, there's a big reason why. Anybody who bets on sports is going to look at history. So if you get the statistics on these two boxers, right, you can look at gold and silver heavyweight, the precious metals heavyweight. They've been in this fight many, many times before, like 4,000 years worth of experience. And the precious metals heavyweight beat the fiat currency every single time over 4,000 years. Look. I know we all have a thing called recency bias, right? This is not the only paper currency that's ever been made. There's been hundreds, thousands. Lynette Zhang has a whole bunch of them. I love Lynette Zhang. You know, examples, there's all kinds of, from all over the world, all throughout history, when they decoupled this, right? And look, President Richard Nixon did it in 1971, took the United States off the gold standard. That was his decision. We didn't like it. I love my country. I wish we'd stayed on the gold standard, but they didn't. And that's the reality. Now, this is backed by faith and confidence. every single time this, here, I can do a great visual for you. This, okay, took on this over 5,000 years. This has won. Thank you, Goldman Sachs, for finally waking up to what we tried to tell you 3 or 4 years ago. Oh, we got more to cover. How about metals?
Like 3 different super things, tabs, or stickers.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I'll recognize the super chats later in this broadcast. What I would like you to do right now, besides press the subscribe button and the thumbs up, is everybody say hi and thank you to the one and only, the world famous upstairs Susie. Yes, that's my wife. I couldn't do this without her, and she communicates with me via a walkie-talkie. And if I get a certain number of likes and thumbs ups, she unlocks the deadlock bolt on the basement door, and I get to go outside and have a little fresh air. Now, let's talk about something even more important. This was great. People were saying that the precious metals rally is over. It's done, right? And look, I don't have a crystal ball. You don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I can't believe I'm even thinking this, but I mean, could silver go down? Of course. Will it go down at some point? Yes, it will. Don't throw eggs at me. It's not just going to go straight. Well, it might, but most likely it's going to have pullbacks, consolidations, whatever. People were saying that in this next article, and we're going to go through it quickly, gave so many reasons why the price of gold and silver, right? Gold and silver, the precious metals heavyweight, can continue higher. Let's go out and take a look at this as well. And this came from our friends at Metals and Miners Substack. They're doing a great job. Gold and silver sell-off on the Trump NATO Greenland deal. What a joke, I have to say. Everyone is now asking, is this the top? Are we done? Okay. Are we done? Look at that. Oh my gosh, remember that? Right? Gold went down like what, $100 because I don't know, something about Greenland. Well, let's just get down here to the important part. And what they're saying is maybe the rally in gold and silver isn't over, because as they point out, right, you need to understand that the Japanese bond market is still imploding. That's a big deal, right? People are selling bonds, okay? I didn't look at the bond market today, but people have been selling bonds. We got more. Let's go to the next point. You need to understand that America's debt crisis is unsolvable. We'll look at that in a minute. I'm going to pull up one of your favorites, the U.S. debt clock. We'll look at that in 1 second. Yes, we are in a debt spiral in the United States. The United States must issue, this is crazy, 11 to 12 trillion in new debt in 2026 alone. And with Japan and China no longer buying, the Fed will be forced to monetize the debt. That means print money to pay for the debt. And the guys, 11 to 12 trillion is almost 30%. But wait, there's more. There's a kicker, because that 11 to 12 trillion is going to have to be issued at much higher interest rates, even if they do short term, right? I mean, it's a spiral. We'll talk more about that later. You need to understand the Greenland deal is not yet a deal. There's all that speculation. We won't go down that road, but we got trouble with Europe now. Europe's mad at us. You need to understand that NATO's stunning reversal from the threatening war against the U.S. over Greenland to full-throated endorsement in a matter of hours reveals how screwed up the world is on a geopolitical level. You need to understand that the stock market, we talked about the bond market, people are selling bonds. When the interest rates on bonds goes up, look, I can be as fancy as you want me to. I worked for a big four accounting firm. I understand all these terms, but just for those of you who are maybe new to finance, when interest rates go up, the only reason interest rates go up on bonds is because people are selling bonds. When they sell the bonds, okay, the people that are buying them are saying, well, I'm only going to buy it if it pays a higher interest rate. People are selling bonds, getting out of the bond market. But look, the stock market is in no better shape. The stock market is by almost any measurement, any comparison, at historical overvalued levels. Okay, the Magnificent Seven tech stocks are getting hit hard in early 2026. We could go down that road, but just think about that. Bonds don't look good. The stock market don't look good. What about residential real estate and commercial real estate? Let's just say that doesn't look good either. What's left, right? What's the safe haven? What's the safe harbor? You got that right. It's gold and silver. You also need to understand that the BRICS are decoupling. We talked about this with Mr. Van earlier in the week, right? The world is moving away from the dollar. We're going to look at some data on that here. You know what? We can do that right now. Wow, what a perfect segue. Here we go. This is a stunning chart from Taylor Kinney that shows how the world is moving away. Bye-bye dollar, right? It was nice knowing you, but we are finding other ways to store our value. Taylor says the reserve currency privilege that let the U.S. export inflation, right, and live beyond its means. We're losing that status, and inflation is coming back home, and it's going to happen fast. And if we get inflation, the S word, guys, stagflation, look back to the 1970s. We had a stagflationary environment, and we had silver and gold prices skyrocketed like no other time in history. Well, except for maybe now, because we are in historic times. But it's a setup for unbelievable returns potentially in gold and silver. The public has no idea what's coming. Well, Taylor, we love this chart. Not really, but it's just the reality of what's going on. And guys, take a look at this. U.S. dollar assets as a percentage share of foreign exchange reserves. Here's 2021. If my math is correct, that was just 4 years ago. And at one point, the world had almost 75% of its assets in U.S. dollars as their reserve. Look at what happened. You can see it, right? Oh, I think it went down, it went up, and it went down, 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 down. Now we are at only 58%. That is a dramatic decrease in the matter of only 4 years. It's incredible. It's happening. The world is abandoning the dollar. We don't like it. It's unfortunate. But maybe if Nixon hadn't taken us off the gold and silver standard, we'd still be in pretty good shape. And it is evidenced here. Hold on. I want to say hi to you. Sorry. I mean, I guess you probably don't like looking at me all the time anyway, but I like looking at you. Okay. And seriously, your time is valuable. We've got almost 2,000 people down here with us today. That is such good news, guys, because more and more people are waking up to gold and silver. So to all the new people, welcome. To the long-term basement dwellers, right? You've been loyal. We appreciate you. Your time is valuable. Thank you very much. Let's go look at the U.S. debt clock just to make sure nothing's changed there. And maybe, hold on here for a few, and boom. I think I got it up. Should be up now. Look. Hold on here. Hold on. We'll get the crayons out. Are you ready for the spiral? Okay. Here we have our U.S. national debt in the upper left corner. Only $38 trillion. Do you realize that per taxpayer, that is equal to $355,000? That means if you work and you pay taxes in the United States, you essentially owe $355,000. But that's not the crazy part, because if we go down here in the very bottom middle, you can see interest expense that we're paying on the debt right now, very close to $1 trillion. Now, remember, like we covered earlier, the Treasury Department needs to refinance $11 to $12 trillion of the debt just this year alone. And that debt, when it gets refinanced, reissued, is going to be at much higher rates, which will continue to make the interest expense go up. But wait, there's more, because right here, just below to the right of the debt level, that's the government's budget deficit every year. $1.7 trillion. Okay. Now think about this. The interest expense number that continues to go up, right? That feeds directly into this. That makes the deficit get bigger and bigger. So as the interest expense gets bigger, the budget deficit gets bigger. Oh, and then where does that feed into? That feeds right into the overall debt. But as the overall debt gets bigger and interest rates get higher because nobody wants to buy our debt, that goes down into here again, right? Into the interest expense, which makes the deficit get bigger, which then makes the national debt get even bigger and bigger. I could repeat this over and over, but did you notice something, right? It's a spiral. It's a debt spiral. You know, I don't like it. I hate it. It's horrible. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is, right? And the anecdote for that is absolutely precious metals. Since we're here, let's go over and make sure that none of the important statistics when it comes to silver and gold have changed. Some reason I can't draw on here a lot of times with my markers, but we'll try. Okay. Right here. Yeah. To see, it doesn't work. So hopefully you can see my cursor. Get that off the screen. Right here on the right-hand side, the second column, about 2/3 of the way down, the paper to silver ratio right now sits at 376 to 1. Okay. We talked about this yesterday. On a daily basis, if you figure that the silver mining sector produces about 800 million ounces of silver per year, that's about 2.2 million ounces per day. Okay. It's absolutely stunning. And then we go to the top again in the second column, the dollar to silver ratio right now is at $1,186 per ounce. What that measures is the annual increase in the M2 money supply. How much money is being printed, essentially, right? The increase in the M2 money supply divided by the number of ounces of silver on an annual basis that are being created. And it's just absolutely crazy stunning. Okay. I've got one more really eye-opening thing for us to look at. Okay. And this looks at gold, but the same is true for silver over the last 20 years. Okay. Silver and gold have held their value for thousands of years. But wait till you see this about gold over just the last 20 years. Hopefully, I've got it here. I'm going to pull it up. Oh, no. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You just look at this crazy drawing. I'm going to find it. Bear with me. Having a little tech issue. Gold. Shoot. Hold on. Hold on. Gold. 20 years. All right, I found it. I'm going to be right back. Here we go. And boom. And here we go. From financial dystopia. Hold on. Let me pause this. Make it full screen. Go back to the beginning. This is absolutely eye-opening. And it's only about 18 seconds long. Okay. This is $10,000 of gold, the 20-year difference. That's 2005, 20,000 in gold. Well, wait, there's more. 2005, more gold. That's how much gold you got for 10K in 2005. 2025, you get 1, 2 and a half. 21 ounces. And actually, today, he needs to update this video. Right? 21 ounces of gold, 2005, is equal to basically 2 today. It was 2.5 when he made it. All right, guys, unbelievable historic period of time that we're living through, right? Oh, super chats, yeah.
And ring the gong. It's got over 500 likes.
We got 500 likes. We got people from all over the world. We have 2,000 people, guys, in the basement right now. Do you realize? What's even more important, that by the time people watch the recording of what we are doing live right now, there will be like 40 or 50,000 people that watch this video. That's like a big giant football stadium. It's not because of my dynamic personality or my good looks. It's because people are wanting to learn about precious metals. People are coming into the precious metals community. And don't forget, right now, what, like 2%, 3%, 4%, 2%, 2.5% of the world's financial assets are invested in precious metals, right? If that goes to 5%, 7.5%, that's 2 or 3 times the amount of this, right? Fiat paper money that's attempting right, to convert itself into precious metals. On top of what we learned about in Korea, Turkey, where else? China, Russia, for that matter. But all that data, on top of all that, it hasn't even started in the richest country in the world. Take a step back and think about that. Right? The United States of America, at least for now, is still the richest country in the world. If the silver and gold price continue much higher, China and India are probably going to take us over. But when people hear, right, those neighbors, those aunts and uncles, those skeptics, right, the sheeple, the herd of sheeple start to show up and want to get, they're going to be like, can we get in there with you guys? Like, there's no more seats. Congratulations to you on this historic day for the precious metals market. Okay. No matter where silver closes for today, we have $100 silver in the spot market. It's a big, big deal. I want to run out here and say thank you. Oh, wow. We got 3 super chats. Okay. Terry Lesquez. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody, right? I speak my truth. I love silver and gold. I have for years. I love precious metal mining stocks. Oh, by the way, before I forget, First Mining Gold also sponsors Ron's Basement. That was a company founded by Keith Neumeyer, right? We talked about him earlier. They have 2 massive development stage gold projects in Canada, Du Parquet in Quebec and Springpole in Ontario. Check them out at firstmininggold.com. All right, next one. Let me get this up. This is from Renee Gadzi Designers, 8643. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Susie said something. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you can still see me and hear me. We got a lot going on today. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate it. And hold on here. Wow. Super sticker from Michelle. Michelle, I'm sorry, I have a hard time reading the small print. McKelmer 477. Guys, thank you for the super chats. Let's check in with Upstairs Susie and see what she was requesting. Upstairs Susie, are you there? Over.
Yeah, I just was reminding you to do the bell and the gong.
Okay.
And congrats to everyone. Woohoo!
Yeah. Upstairs Susie's pumped up. It went from being my silver to our silver to her silver. Although I store it off site, so she's going to have a hard time getting a hold of it. Okay, let's ring the gong. Guys, hey, it's a big day, a day of celebration. I love how it resonates. The golden gong, and of course, the silver bell on this historic day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Hey, we like to have fun, right? We can get real technical, but we want to have some fun as well. I really appreciate you being part of this community. Take care of yourself. Don't forget, subscribe, and I will see you. Yeah, you. I'm watching you next time. Enjoy your silver and your gold today.